Tonight, the problems for the NIU Police Department just got bigger. A controversial land swap deal with DeKalb High School is off for now, and lottery fever is getting hotter. The news starts now on NTC News Tonight.
You're watching NTC News, DeKalb County's only television news source, on the campus of Northern Illinois University and from the Northern Television Center. This is NTC News Tonight.
The investigation into wrongdoing and a possible cover-up inside the NIU Police Department has jumped to a higher level. Good evening, I'm Christine Vandenbroek. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Lauren Scott. It involves the convoluted case of a former police officer accused of raping an NIU student. That case has been dropped after a court hearing yesterday, but not before new evidence that he was framed and the accusation that officials, including suspended Police Chief Donald Grady, tried to cover it up.
Here with us to help sort out this matter is reporter Andrea Azzo.
Thanks, guys. Now, at the center of all of this, as you said, is a former NIU police officer named Andrew Rifkin. Today, his attorney told us that he will be filing a federal civil rights lawsuit against the university and the people who made him the target of a criminal sexual assault prosecution, a sexual assault that apparently never happened.
Rifkin was fired after a student claimed he raped her. After the case went to court, it was discovered that two witnesses told investigators the victim was actually in a consensual relationship with Rifkin, evidence that was not turned over to prosecutors. Chief Donald Grady said the evidence was buried by mistake, but a judge didn't believe that. Grady has been suspended, and another police commander, Lieutenant Kartik Ramakrishnan, is being fired for his role. Yesterday, another bombshell. This time, an NIU computer technician told a judge that Chief Grady called him in late one night to remove dozens of files from his university computer and that of the lieutenant, after Grady had told the court that all files about the Rifkin case had been turned over. Today, Rifkin's attorney characterized the computer wipe as, in his words, without question, a deliberate cover-up. Since this case broke, University Vice President Bill Nicholas has taken control of the Department of Public Safety. Today, he spoke very cautiously.
As you know, the President Peters, has asked the state police to look at the department's protocols and recent actions with respect to particular cases, and they have responded and are taking a look.
As we mentioned, Chief Grady has been placed on paid leave from his $200,000 a year job. We contacted him this morning, but he declined to comment on the latest claims about his actions. And Andrew Rifkin's attorney says that even though his client has been cleared of a rape charge that could have sent him to prison, his reputation will never be the same. He says he will be filing a lawsuit against NIU in a matter of days or weeks.
And thank you so much, Andrea. Well, at least some people in DeKalb are trying to find a little good fortune.
If you haven't purchased a lottery ticket yet, you better do so soon. A $500 million jackpot is up for grabs, and it's creating some buzz here in DeKalb. Here, a customer jokes about winning the now $500 million Powerball lottery with employees of Hickey's Corner Store just off of Lincoln Highway and North 1st Street. He has purchased one of the already 200-some lottery tickets sold there just in that day. There are several signs posted advertising the record-breaking Powerball jackpot throughout the store, but there is one thing employee Lynn Hickey says he's noticed about who's buying tickets that day.
A lot of first-time buyers that don't know what's going on with the Illinois Lotto. Signs on the pumps do trigger their mind. Yeah, $500 million. It's supposed to be one of the highest.
One of those rare ticket buyers is Danielle Nelson, who hasn't bought a ticket since she was 18.
I haven't played the lottery since I was 18, and I bought a ticket to celebrate turning 18.
So how old are you now?
27. Oh.
Danielle says even though she's playing, her hopes are not very high.
I have absolutely no hope of winning. I know the odds. I know the math. There's no chance I'm going to win, but what the heck?
Those odds she's speaking of are 1 in 75 million. But hey, you can't win unless you try. It could be your lucky day. Christine Vandenbroek in DeKalb with NTC News. The winning numbers will be announced tonight at 9:59 p.m., so I'm sure a lot of ticket buyers will have their fingers crossed.
I can't even imagine what I would do with all that money, but I definitely pay off some of the student debt. Well done, Christine. And speaking of millions, that's what the state is awarding an iron worker after a warehouse accident left him paralyzed. $64 million is what 41-year-old Ronald Bayer will receive after falling from a beam in the Panduit warehouse back in 2007. He landed on a concrete foundation about 15 feet below the beam. There was no safety cables provided on the steel beams for the workers to hook onto. Bayer's neck snapped, leaving him paralyzed from the chest down with limited ability to move his arms. Panduit plans to appeal the ruling.
If you've ever wanted to secretly record a phone conversation, well, you would be breaking the law if you did, but that may be changing. Illinois eavesdropping laws could see major changes after the Supreme Court's decision not to hear a plea to ban secret taping of the Illinois police. Judges in Cook and Crawford counties declared that the law making the recording of police officers a felony punishable up to 15 years in prison to be unconstitutional. The ACLU is pushing to make a temporary injunction barring prosecutions under the law permanent.
The law, as it's written, is still on the books as it was prior to the decision. And so it's still, at least on the books, prohibited activity. It's just now that it's been judicially determined to be unconstitutional and cannot be enforced.
As I mentioned, if the ACLU succeeds, then the law will be permanently removed.
Landlords in DeKalb will have more responsibilities over their property. The city of DeKalb is passing a new housing ordinance to help keep apartments safer. To pay for the ordinance, fees will increase and the city will hire to help enforce the new laws. Tenants will now sign a crime-free lease, making them responsible for any illegal activities that take place in their apartment. Renters should expect to see changes in their lease.
The public can enjoy KIWANIS Park a little while longer. The DeKalb School District 428 withdrew a request to rezone part of the park near the old high school for apartments. The school district still plans to swap the land with Shodine Development for the land located near the new high school. The proposed development of the park has been controversial. Opponents include former DeKalb Mayor Bessie Chronopoulos. The school district would owe $42,000 if the land swap did not take place.
Jesse Jackson Jr. can still cash in on federal pension.
And a former congressman is looking to fill Jackson's empty seat. These are today's state lines.
Former Illinois Congressman Jesse Jackson can still collect his federal pension of $45,000 a year, but he would lose it if he's convicted of public corruption. Jackson hasn't been charged, but has acknowledged he's under federal investigation.
And hoping to replace Jackson is a former Congressman, Mel Reynolds. Reynolds is set to hold a news conference today to announce his plans of taking Jackson's seat. Jackson resigned from Congress last week because of his ongoing treatment for bipolar disorder.
Sangamon County authorities have arrested a 22-year-old woman in connection with the discovery of a dismembered body dumped along a road. Watisha McCaster of Springfield is being held in lieu of $5 million. The body of her husband, 22-year-old Norman McCaster, was found last month missing his head, both arms, and both legs.
A Chicago area man has been sentenced to life in prison for killing his wife and 3 children. A Will County judge sentenced Christopher Vaughn yesterday to 4 consecutive life sentences with no chance of parole. Prosecutors say Vaughn killed his family because he saw them as an obstacle to his dream of a new life.
Well, the sun keeps shining, but the temperature, it keeps fading.
Well, Nicole Gill is here with us to take a look at this week's weather.
Well, guys, for that, it looks like the temperatures are going to start to rise. This weekend will be the weekend to enjoy, just to let you know. But just like tomorrow, across the area, temperatures are looking just a little bit warmer. Highs in the upper 40s, low 50s across the area with mostly sunny skies. It's going to be beautiful out there. For more on your warm-up, I'll give you all the details after the break.
This can't be happening. This can't be happening.
Of course it's not happening. Armored car. Listen, having money isn't about luck. Make your own coffee, save $1,000 a year. Feed me.
Feed the pig.
Welcome back. We started off today of a low of 25 degrees, and then we rose up to near 44 degrees. That's 6 degrees above our average for this time of year. Now, that 64 degrees, we could see something like that this weekend. Now, looking at radar, nothing much in our area in DeKalb, but unfortunately in the West Coast, those guys are getting hammered with storms. There's that low in the Pacific that's bringing those showers for them, but hey, for us, we have this high centered in the southwestern states that's bringing us that warm air that's going to stick around, bringing us those warmer temperatures this weekend. Now, tonight, low 28 degrees. We're still below that freezing point, but by tomorrow, high near 48 degrees, so those temperatures are starting to come up just a little. We're having gusts up to 15 miles per hour, but that's really nothing to worry about. Tomorrow night, finally above freezing with a low of 34 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. Now, you could tell these temperatures are starting to rise. Looking at our 5-day forecast, we're starting off at 48 degrees. That's about 9 degrees above our average. Now, as we go into the weekend, look at that. Temperatures are starting to rise up. It's going to be beautiful this weekend with a high near 60 degrees on Monday. That is 23 degrees above our average. It's going to look beautiful out there. Unfortunately, we may see a few showers or two, but that's nothing to worry about at all. So that's all for weather. Let's send it back to Lauren and Christine.
More car bombings lead to more deaths in Syria.
And Egyptian protesters want their president to ease up. Here's what's happening in today's World Watch.
2 car bombs in Syria have exploded simultaneously, killing at least 34 people. A Syrian human rights group says dozens more were injured after the blast occurred in Damascus. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights says the death toll could rise because of the many injuries were serious.
More turmoil in Egypt. A day after the biggest showing of dissent since President Mohamed Morsi took office, police have been firing tear gas at people gathered at Cairo Tahrir Square. Protesters are calling on the president to scale back his new powers. On Tuesday, tens of thousands of people packed the square in a demonstration that was mostly peaceful. One protester died in a scuffle with police.
The mood was optimistic earlier this month when President Obama met with congressional leaders to work on an agreement to avoid the fiscal cliff. Now, the president is taking his case to the people, meeting with small business owners yesterday and sitting down with some of the nation's top CEOs today.
Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid says 89-year-old former Senator Bob Dole has been hospitalized. Reid made the announcement on the floor of the Senate, adding that Dole is at Walter Reed Hospital. He's expected to be discharged today after having a routine procedure. Dole, who turned 89 in July, has been fighting a leg infection since 2009. And that's today's World Watch.
You know, there weren't too many home games in the DeKalb area last night, or really in Chicago for that matter.
And it's time for NTC Sports, and Megan safely joins us now with some updates on local happenings.
Thank you, Lauren. Well, Christine, as you said, there really wasn't a whole lot going on the home front, but here's some things to look forward to for this week. The NIU women's basketball team has a busy week this week. They play out in Peoria tonight at 6 p.m. against Bradley, and then bring it home on Friday to play Loyola at 7 p.m. The women's basketball team is 2-2 right now, so good luck, girls, and let's bring home a win. The men's basketball team was not so lucky last night, on the other hand. They had an upsetting loss against UIC, the final score 58-46. And after an upsetting loss on Monday night, the Chicago Bulls are set to play the Dallas Mavericks at home tonight. Tip-off is at 7 p.m., so let's hope they can pull it together and muster up a win for Chicago fans. We're going to take it out to Sacramento now, where the Kings played the Minnesota Timberwolves. And we see Tyreek Evans trying to keep the Kings in the game here as this wide open three-pointer. He shoots it over, and there we go. Bam, right into the hole. And then Luke Ridnour misses the open jumper, but Love is there to gently push it in the basket. Love scrambles for the loose ball and throws the miracle basket. Timberwolves would hang on to the win behind Love's 23 points. All right, now taking out to the Lakers' home court now, where they played the Indiana Pacers, where Kobe Bryant was playing with flu-like symptoms last night. 2 minutes left in the game, Pau Gasol finds Dwight Howard under the basket for the monster slam, and the Lakers manage to tie up the game. Time's ticking away. George Hill drives up the lane and hits his floater. Trying to be the hero, Bryant drains a game-tying three here with 25 seconds left on the clock. Hill lets the clock run down, and then he drives to the basket here for a go-ahead basket. Pacers get the win in LA despite the 40 points scored by Bryant. And our play of the day goes to Rodney Williams Jr. of the Minnesota Gophers in their game against Florida State. Now, off the Minnesota miss, Williams manages to reach back for the rebound here and throws down a wicked putback slam on the hoop. Check it out again. He was just trying to help out a teammate, and look what came out of it. Minnesota was able to win the game, but Williams gets the play of the day. That's all I've got for now, right, guys? But hopefully our Huskies can chalk up a win, and, you know, Chicago for that matter as well.
Thanks, Megan. Coming up, why this chocolate company is creating something even Willy Wonka could be jealous of. Stay here to find out why.
I'm in the honors program here at NIU. The Honors House is a place where honors students can live together. I lived in the Honors House as a freshman, so I got to meet people right off the bat. I was with students who were in the same kinds of classes as me. So living in the Honors House just meant I had that group to start off with. Living with other honors students made all the difference in my experience, so why go anywhere else?
Northern Illinois University, learning today,
leading tomorrow.
Have you ever had a craving for chocolate but only to find out that it melted?
Yeah, well, unfortunately that never really stopped me from eating it, but it definitely is a little bit more messy.
Well, a UK chocolate company is putting that problem to rest with chocolate that doesn't melt. Cadbury UK says it has come up with a chocolate creation. The company's food scientists claim their new dairy milk bars remain brick hard even if left in 104 degrees Fahrenheit heat. Researchers at Cadbury England's plant figured out how to break down the sugar particles into smaller pieces. That cuts the amount of fat covering them, making the pieces more temperature tolerant. Cadbury, owned by Kraft, reportedly plans to sell the heat-resistant chocolate to countries with really hot climates like India and Brazil. Looks like the next step is to create a chocolate that just doesn't disappear.
No, kind of like a everlasting chocolate gobstopper.
Well, that's all the time we have for you tonight. Be sure to tune in at the same time tomorrow with us. Goodbye, everyone.